Hi, and welcome to Learn with Sawgrass, the Tuesday edition. We join you here on YouTube Live every Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. and every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. to share with you all of the things about Sawgrass, to offer you tips, to offer you tricks, to offer you a little bit of inspiration, and hopefully some business tips as well. So we kind of cover it all. I am Rhonda, the education manager here. I am joined behind the scenes by Rhodes, also a member of our education team, and he will be answering your questions in the chat. And so if you do have any questions, feel free to put them there. He will answer them. I will pester him a few times during the session to see what we can do to help. And this week is all about inspiration, and it is about last minute preparations for Friday for Halloween. So we've got some great projects today and some great projects tomorrow. I'm really excited to be back with you. Again, sorry we missed last week. I was at Printing United in Orlando. Had a great time, met some of you. I met Tom, who I've heard is in the YouTube today. So hi Tom, good to see you again. And so we're so glad to be back. I learned a lot. I got to meet a lot of people. So we're really excited. So yeah, that's it. So we will go ahead and jump in. So today we are focusing on Halloween treat bags. And then I know it's a little bit late, but those boo baskets, so those kind of gifts you want to give someone instead of just doing Halloween. You may do something for a whole family. I'm going to talk through how you would do that right now or today. And then we got some really great projects. So we'll go ahead and jump in. And then tomorrow we are doing last minute costumes using t-shirts. I've actually chosen one color of t-shirt. All of my projects are going to be tomorrow are going to be on yellow t-shirts, other than my own costume. So we're really excited about that. I have some great ideas for you. I just picked up, I'm hoping to do about 4 yellow t-shirt projects tomorrow. And then I'll tell you how those same projects, you could do versions of them on other colors. So hopefully for those of you who don't have a costume yet, I'll give you some inspiration. But today, let's talk about some treat bags. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. And so I have this basket. I'm going to do this for a family. I know I am going to kind of talk through how I would do this if I was doing this for the Rooney family. The Rooney family does have 3 kids, 2 adults. So just some of the things that I would put in the basket if I was making this for them. So here's my basket, here's my filler. We're gonna need that in just a minute. I went ahead and did a couple of things for the basket, and then we'll do one project here. So I did do this adorable t-shirt for a toddler. This is done with Versaflex. So this is a 100% cotton t-shirt. And then I took a design and just changed the colors on it to make colors that I knew would work really well with that pink background. One of the things I love about Versaflex, we talked a lot about this last week, is that even though there is no white, you're not really seeing the colors being impacted by the shirt color, which is something that we dealt with a lot in sublimation with polyester. So I really love this. You can see how bright those blue stars are. And then the other thing about Versaflex, I know I had questions about this last week. We have in the past had the Chromoblast ink that would go on cotton. With the Chromoblast ink, anywhere there was not ink, there would be that paper that did transfer. That's not what happens here. It is self-weeding. The Versaflex light paper is self-weeding. So this area here that would have been, let me see if I still have it up. Yeah, I do. If Rhodes, if you want to take on my computer for just a second. So you see the ghost in the middle here are white. Of course, there is no white ink, so anywhere there is white is going to be the color of the shirt. And you actually can feel the shirt through there. So it's really nice. It's a great hand on it, a great feel, and just a perfect little shirt for a little one. You can go back to the main camera now. But I really love this shirt. All right, so we're going to fold that up for my basket. The other thing I did was something for Mom. So this is one of my new favorites, these wooden earrings. You may have to zoom in on me. Do you want me to go to the other camera? Will that be easier?
Yeah, that one's perfect. Let me just kind of stand there and show everyone.
All right, so these wood earrings are my new absolute favorite thing. I just used a pattern out of the design tool. Oh.
What about that?
You want me to dangle?
Yeah, like that would be actually hanging from the ear.
Yeah. I would normally do the back. I didn't do the backs on these because it's just in a hurry, but you can see those. Aren't those great? All right, and then you can show my print utility. All right, so I did these earrings. I have also made a pair that's going to go home with me that's the other pattern you're about to see. And so you see, this is one of the things I love the best about the print utility. I added the 2 files. I was able to go ahead and repeat it, so I was able to do 2. And then I spaced these out, and I also centered it. So made it easier for me to just print them all at one time. I did do 1 pair and then the other pair because of course it is that hot peel. So I wanted to make sure and get it off, but I absolutely adore these. So these are also for my boo basket. And then now we're going to do the thing that I was realizing I don't do tremendously often in the workshops. I want to make sure you do see it occasionally. And that is doing true sublimation with my VersaFlex ink. So I am actually going to make this wonderful water bottle, and I'm going to do that using VersaFlex ink and then sublimation transfer paper. So I know we tell you that you can do it. I don't think we demo it a lot. So I want to make sure and let you see that today too. So let's go ahead and get started on that. I'm going to choose my right printer. And pull up my file. I did go ahead and make this. You know, one of the tricks that I do whenever I'm making with a water bottle is I will cut a piece of paper to fit the area that I want it to go on and then measure that with a ruler. So I did that to make sure I have the correct area. We're going to make this landscape. That's going to make it fit. I'm going to go ahead and change this to my stainless steel. That's going to change my paper immediately to my True Picks, which is what I have in the printer. Now, one of the things we do here is we do have an option tray, something that I recommend for anybody, but I especially recommend for our VersaFlex users because this is allowing me to have my VersaFlex paper in tray 1, and then in my option tray, I do have my True Picks paper. Now, one of the things that I often forget is to actually change that. So I've defaulted to the option tray and then was using VersaFlex and messed that up and vice versa. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
You set it to bypass tray.
I did, didn't I? Thank you. I'm going to set that to the correct tray, to the option tray, and we are ready to go. It is mirrored, it is pretty, it is set. We'll go ahead and hit print. All right, so Rhodes, any questions or comments so far?
Lori says she has a really awesome, she said the scariest Sawgrass inspired costume ever. But she won't tell me what it is, we have to wait and see.
Okay. And when are we going to see?
Yeah, that's a good question. When are we going to see that, Lori?
Yeah. You're going to get to see one of mine tomorrow. The other one I'll post pictures of later in the week. Well, we'll talk about this tomorrow, but I am famous for my punny costumes. So not doing puns this year, but I normally do, and I will make some suggestions with that tomorrow, along with the other things I'm making. All right.
She will wear it to her workshop and then post a pic on Friday.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, yeah. Is there any true pics you can?
On the top there.
The top is VersaFlex.
No, on top of the actual physical print.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, put that in there, sorry.
Perfect. Okay, now I am going to actually go into my system settings. I'm going to go to my printers and scanners and make sure that it's showing that option tray, because I think that may be my issue. Printer info. I'm going to go in and make sure that the options. Yeah, so it does have that selected. Good. I don't know why it came out of the other tray, so we're going to try that again. All right. I'm not crazy, right? That's VersaFlex.
Yeah, this is VersaFlex paper.
All right, so we're going to wait for that to print out. We will just switch the paper around if I'm still having issues. And then if I were you, I would open a ticket at care.sawgrassinc.com. Most likely the tray is just not registering properly. If I'm still having that issue, if not, I'm going to call it user error. Okay, and I'm actually going to, it's going to do maintenance on its own because it knows that the ink is a little too heavy.
Is that the right paper?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just going to switch the paper out for now.
We have switched printers around a bunch.
Yeah, we have, and we most likely just didn't get that option tray put in correctly, which happens. And like I said, if this happened to you, don't panic. Just open a ticket, do what I'm doing to just get through it, and then you'll be fine. All right. I'm going to go ahead and switch my paper back as soon as I'm done, just so I don't forget. And then we will just, when we're done, just so you know what we'll do is we'll take the printer off the option tray, put it back on, turn the printer off, turn the printer back on. And that should resolve that. All right. Perfect. You notice with my Versaflex light paper, I do just take it out, sit it right down, and then right back in so that my top stays my top, my bottom stays my bottom, which makes it easier with that paper so you don't get confused. All right. I am going to cut the extra paper off, just makes it a lot easier to align. And then one edge of this is going to need to be flat. So I will cut that all the way to the edge. You'll see why in just a second. Okay. Perfect. That is aligning perfectly. We will just go ahead and, let me make sure my water bottle's out the way. Pull that nice and tight. Make sure that the white edge is on top. And it is. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this. Now, one of the things that I have found with tumblers, I do the same thing with mugs. I'm going to tape my seam really, really well. That just is going to make all this easier. Make sure that that is as flat as possible. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip to the other side, and I always put some tape across from it. And the reason is sometimes the paper will buckle in the press with the pressure. And so by having tape on the other side, it's going to keep it's going to help you avoid any ghosting or any of that. Now, I have already set up my press. It is set to my 385 for 60 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead over there and use that. Put one more piece of tape on here to be safe. All right. Now I've got it set for 385 for 60 seconds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in. Really doesn't matter if, when you do this, it doesn't really matter if the tape is at the top. I am going to rotate this halfway through. That's why I did do the 60 seconds and then the 60 seconds again. So we're going to do it. I'm going to put on a glove, rotate it a little bit, and then go one more time, just so that everything gets that full 60 seconds in the press. And the extra time doesn't really hurt it. So we should be good.
While we're waiting on that,
Yeah.
Tom has a question. This is just kind of a question about a project he's doing.
Yeah.
He's trying to print shot glasses, and he's asking how he can get the bleed lines to print.
Bleed lines, if you need bleed lines, it's going to be easiest to just add those as a square. So to do a custom canvas and do that and add those. I typically don't work with bleed lines. I find it easier just not to have those, but really just depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it. But usually the easiest way, if you want the lines to show up, is to physically put a line. And I'm going to actually do a project where I'm adding a line in just a minute. So hopefully I can help a little bit with that. Yeah, shot glasses are interesting. Tom, are you using a convection oven for those shot glasses? And I know he'll tell, Rhodes and Rhodes will tell me. There are attachments also for tumbler presses to do shot glasses as well. So a lot of people do use those. All right. Okay. Nice and hot. Oh, my measurements may have been off. I think I left some white. Oh, no, I didn't. Let's see. Throwing myself off here. I did a pretty clean seam. Look at that. Could have made it a little bit, maybe a 1/10 of an inch bigger, and that would have not happened at all. But I think that's perfect for this.
Tom said he's using a J-Trans press.
Okay. So I think just a tumbler press, and then look at that. Okay. You ready, Rhodes?
Yeah, I'm on that camera.
Look at me. And if you want to see my little bitty seam, there's my little bitty seam. But I think that's an adorable little Halloween water bottle. All right. Okay, perfect. So we have everything together for our boo basket. We are going to leave it till the end because I do want this to cool off first. We'll put that over there. Let that cool off. All right, so let's do a couple of treat bags. There are so many different ways to do treat bags. I saw so many different wonderful ideas, but here's what I picked up that I'm really excited about. So I don't know why, but my favorite Halloween character is Frankenstein. So Frankenstein is my absolute favorite. I affectionately call him Frankie. So I was lucky enough this morning at the local craft store to be able to find a green bag. So we are going to put Frankie on my green bag. So I think he's going to be adorable. So let's go ahead and do that. Now this is one I went ahead and did in a design program. I did this in Adobe Illustrator just to make my life a little bit easier. Okay. I may have to resize him, but let's check him out. Yep, there he is. Sorry, I can't remember if I gave him a mouth. That's why I'm sitting here going, is he too big? Yeah. There we are. I did give him a mouth. I thought I did. All right, so there he is. He's all set and ready to go. We'll make him a little bit smaller. There he is. Perfect. All right, so there he is. Very easy. I mean, you know, it's funny because a lot of times I do have Lindsay, who is our creative director of marketing, or creative marketing director. She will often help me with things like this, but I'm like, it's Frankenstein. He's just a bunch of triangles and rectangles. So he came together pretty well. I'm pretty excited about him. All right, so we are going to go ahead and make sure everything is set. That is set to cotton. I'm going to center him just to make my life easier. And T is ready to print. So before I do that, I'll go ahead, set my press, check my pressure, all that fun stuff. Now, typically, you will often get bags where the handle is not fabric. So I just generally, as a rule, go ahead and put that outside of the press. With something like this, to make sure I'm getting a nice even pressure, I'll often put a pressing pad in there. So let me grab one. No, I think I would. I think that one's too big.
I can go to the other one.
No, I'm good. I think this will work for what I need. And mostly it's just making sure that the whole area where I'm going to be pressing is nice and flat, which that'll do that. I'm going to turn that pressure down just one more touch. There we go. All right, I think we're set. And this is why you should always put paper over there. I did just get something on the back of my bag because there was something on the top of the press. That's why it's always smart to put that down. If you're going to do that, press this side. Flip it over so it stops rolling on me. Check that new pressure, which is good. Okay. That's set. I think my design area is perfect, so let's go ahead and hit print. Any other questions or comments, Rhodes?
No, we are caught up right now.
Awesome. And see, this is why it's good to remember to switch your paper back out, because otherwise that would have been an issue. And this, I'm doing a treat bag. I know Lori, who is in the chat on the YouTube live, she doesn't like putting kids' names on bags just because, it could be a stranger danger thing. So it may be you come up with a nickname for trick or treat. And so this would be a great one where I would put Frankie on one side and then I would put the kid's nickname on the other. And of course, they would know only family uses the nickname, so don't respond to anyone else using it. So that would be a good way to do it. But there is my little Frankie. I really love him. This is, again, VersaFlex. So you are seeing the wet, and that is the expander. That's what makes it so only the design part transfers. So we do have about 10 to 12 minutes to get this on. I'm going to show you something in a minute that I did all in one print and then took the 10 to 12 minutes to get it pressed because I did do it in pieces. So we're going to go ahead and press Mr. Frankie. Make sure I put him correctly. Now this is going on wet, so we do have people ask how you make sure you're doing that correctly. I will put my fingers underneath it so that I can center it and get it exactly where I want it, and then I just drop it down. And that's usually all I have to do there. So we did that 10-minute pre-press. We are doing 30 seconds in the press. And then once we are done, I'm going to quickly do a hot peel on that, and then I'll do a finishing press. One of the main reasons I do a finishing press is the fabric, depending on the stretch in the fabric, will pull up a little bit when you do that press and then you peel it. So what I have found is that repressing it, doing that quick 10-second finishing press does push all those fibers back into place. So it just makes it a little more appealing. Oh my gosh. I think this will be my bag for the rest of the week. Check him out. Rhodes, you see him? Okay, I'm going to do a quick finishing press. All right. Yeah, so I think with this one, what I would do is I would do my Frankie on one side, and then on the other, I would, do something. I'd figure out some cute punny thing about trick or treat and whatever the kid's little nickname is or whatever we decide on. Or maybe just a cute little pun about Frankenstein. I don't know any good Frankenstein jokes or puns.
Where to get them?
No, do you know any?
Not off the top of my head. But
We'll come with one tomorrow. We'll find some. All right. Be careful taking this out because I know it is hot. All right. I'm making you wait because I'm really, really, really excited. Check it out. Is he not the cutest Frankenstein ever? Yeah, I do love him. So this is a great little treat bag. I'm going to add a name to it or talk to Dad and see if he wants me to add a name, and then we'll give it to someone here at the office. But I love him. All right. Okay, let's go into the design tool. So one of the questions I got asked a lot last week was about software. Got to introduce a lot of people to Sawgrass, to VersaFlex. And so one of the questions I did get asked often was, what software do we have? As many of you know, we do have our Sawgrass print utility. That is a free program that everyone should be using when they print. The design tool you don't have to use. You're seeing me use both today. I have done this and this in Adobe Illustrator. For different reasons, I probably would not have attempted those in Creative Studio, in the My Sawgrass design tool. This project is actually perfect for it. So let's go ahead and jump in. Any questions or comments, Rhodes?
No, I looked up Frankenstein puns and jokes.
Is that why you're making a face?
ChatGPT is good, but it has not learned humor yet. So.
Oh, okay. So nothing funny in there. All right. Okay, so this, again, I'm going to use an 8.5 by 11. So I'm just going to use an 8.5 by 11 blank sheet. I could use a tote bag template too. Oops, hit the wrong button. All right. We'll go ahead and get signed in. All right, so I'm going to hit design. Like I said, I'm just going to use a blank sheet for this because I know I just mostly want to fill up that 8.5 by 11. That's going to be kind of my priority here. Okay. All right. So I am going to go into graphic elements. There's something specific I'm looking for. And I actually favorited it. So there is my spider web that I was going to go for. That's kind of cool. I've never favorited anything, so adding it right to the top makes life easier. But if you want to see where I found it, I just filtered, went to Halloween, and that is in our Halloween graphics. But we're going to go ahead and put this on here and make this fill the area. Now, since this is a blank sheet, it does have those margins which is kind of my bleed area. So we're going to stay inside of that for this particular project. Now what I'm going to do, and let me zoom in on this just to make it easier for you to see it. Okay, so I am going to go into shapes. So elements and then shapes. And I am going to pull a square. And this is going to look a little weird, but I want you to see how well this prints when I'm done. So I'm going to make this area in the middle, just like that. And then I am actually going to make this white. Now I know the hex code for white is FF, FF, FF. And then I am actually going to go, I could do it either way. But I'm going to hit more, I'm going to pull another one. And this is what I was saying about the bleed line. If you happen to be using this program and needed to do that. I am going to go very, very, very thin and make myself a line. I'm going to pull this down and put it right on the top of that. So it kind of acts as my divider. Now, I wouldn't necessarily have to have this all the way across the bag. What I would probably do, I'm going to pull this out just to make my life easier, is go ahead and make this pretty much to the edge of this where I'm seeing those lines of the web, and then I'll make it smaller again. I want to cover up the seam and touch the web. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do another one. So I'm going to duplicate that and bring that down. Okay. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more. Make sure there's no white. Make sure it's touching, which it is. So perfect. Now I'm going to add my name. I did talk to Dad. He is okay with his name being on the bag. We're going to go into font styles, and I always use a filter. Not using the filter today. I am actually going to type in what I'm looking for, and I am looking for a kid font. So let's find a good one. I think let's go with something fun. It kind of looks superhero-y, which is nice considering. And I really, because this is a shorter name, I could make those smaller, but I think I'm going to leave it just like it is. One of the features that we do now have is we are able to do letter spacing. So if I wanted to spread his name out, I can do that, make that a little bit wider. I love it. We're going to go ahead and keep that highlighted. We're going to go in and change the black. I'm actually going to do a purple on this one. So it's actually the color that's right there. It's kind of a bluey purple, but that works perfect for this.
This design looks straight out of a Spider-Man comic.
It does, doesn't it?
It is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. Oops, I didn't hit done. Everyone knows that's my, that is my kryptonite if we move over to Superman. As I forget to hit that. So there that is. I could do orange, I could do purple. If I wanted to make sure it was the right purple, I could Google Halloween purple hex code and it would give me some ideas. It's what I did for my orange earlier. So there that is. And then I'm going to look and see what we have for spiders. Let's see. I think he's a cute one. We could have him hanging off. Oh, actually, let's do that. That would be cute. We can have a spider hanging off right there. And we can make him bigger. We could do whatever we wanted. I could even use a different spider and then still have him hang off. But I really like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and print that. Ready to get an error message, so I am just going to go ahead and print. Okay. I love this. And so this is like a high level, I would say, skill, being able to remove a section, and we did it very easily in the design tool. So I love doing that. All right. It's still thinking. There it goes. Look at that, just when I was giving up on it. Okay. Same things. We're going to make sure we have a right printer. Landscape is perfect, centered on page to make it easier. Cotton, everything is set. Now I'm going to go ahead and pre-press this while I hit print. Hit up, like I said, a local craft store this morning. Was able to get all of these bags and everything I needed, so it's really, really exciting. I love just now with VersaFlex being able to go into a store like that and just pick up what I need. All right, we're going to let that print. I'm going to go ahead and pre-press. Again, just because of that seam at the bottom, I do feel a little bit better having that in there. Normally don't use parchment paper, fresh parchment paper every time, but like I said, I am seeing something coming off the press, so just to keep everything nice and clean. Flip that the right direction. Pre-press that. There's my print. Make sure I put it on here correctly. Nice and centered, and then just drop it. All right, Rhodes, any questions or comments? Awesome. Okay. We'll do our press on that. Now you're noticing not taping this down. Because it is wet, it does stick. So not a lot of movement. You don't have to worry about it just blowing on it and moving around. So that's really, really nice. And then, of course, I like not having to put on and remove tape. So it makes my life easier. You're going to notice, again, it is a hot press or hot peel. So we'll immediately pull that up, pull this off. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. All right. Let's do the finishing press. Don't remember which side's which because I got too excited. So we'll go with a fresh one. Okay. Just a quick 10 seconds. nothing like the peel and reveal, pulling up that paper and seeing what you made and seeing that it actually worked the way you wanted it to, which in this case it did. Check that out. Is that not the coolest? I am so excited. He is gonna love that. So it's for one of my coworkers, Littles. So that should be really, really great. All right, so let's put together our boo basket. Okay. All right. Got some nice fluff to go in there. We have our shirt I showed you earlier. So I'm just going to roll that up. Nice to tie it with some ribbon too. You could always do. I'm just going to put my shirt in there. And then we're going to get our water bottle finished. This would also, of course, be a good time to add some candy. Put some candy in there for everybody. All right. There's that. Earrings, I would put on an earring card. My earring cards are on the way back from Florida. So we'll just go ahead and drop those in there. Add some candy in, and then here's my other little touch that I did earlier. I made a burlap bow. So one of probably my favorite things to do with VersaFlex is personalizing ribbon. So I bought a finished bow in this case and just added my Happy Halloween to it. You could add Happy Halloween from the Gwens or whatever you wanted to do. There is a staple stuck in my ribbon. Hold on. Perfect. Okay. We'll put this on. Put some candy in here, and it's just a great gift for a neighbor or anyone who's been kind to you. And so it's just a really, really great addition. Put that right on. You often see I make my own bows out of ribbon. Didn't have to in this case, just when I pressed it, I pressed each little leg itself. And there you go. Look at that. All right, so that is it. Hopefully this gives you some great ideas for some last minute treat bags. I can't figure out which one I love more. I'm always partial to Frankenstein, but that is awfully adorable. All right, and there is Frankenstein. You saw my great shirt we made, so that's what we got for you today. Come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about some last minute Halloween costumes using VersaFlex on t-shirts. So some t-shirt based costumes. Tell you about some I've done in the past using puns, and that should be a lot of fun. If you haven't checked it out yet, go to our podcast, Ink Differently. You're going to find that on both Spotify, well, I guess on all of the above, Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music as well. We had two great ones that dropped recently. One is with Judith from Luna Lee. She's going to talk about preparing for holiday selling, and then we're going to introduce you to one of our newest dealers in Europe, and that is Longfort. They've been around for a very long time, but now are officially carrying Sawgrass printers. So please check those out. Both are really great, and all of those other ones as well. And with that, we'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Bye-bye.